Hello. I hope your day's going well. And Cowboy Jim up here in Fort McMurray, I just ended up spending a little time out back and doing what I do. And I was kind of pondering my next video, and I what I do in that instance is I rewatch the last three videos, and that way I have a daily opportunity to check up on them, and so on like that. And anyways, again, I have something funny on the screen, which is kind of interesting, other than myself. Uh, I was thinking of the Tinda Ranch and a comment I made in one of my videos recently, where if I started to tell you all the stories that have happened to me out on the Tinda, it's actually quite a lot. And one of the main things that I remember with a clarity was a dear friend, and he had a stallion, uh, a paint. Well, no, probably an Arabian, if I remember it correctly, and anyways, we were going back in the mountains for a couple of nights and break some trail and check out the Dog Rib Creek. And so we would ride right up to the source of it and right up in the sheep meadows and so on like that. We That was our game plan, and I had asked my friend, uh, what should I bring for food? And he said, oh, don't worry about that. And, he'd take care of it all. And, um, and I thought, well, that's all right. I mean, he looks physically fit, so probably eats well. Anyways, um, we put our sleeping bags behind the saddle and so on like that. And I made a serious mistake, and because he and I had never hunted before, nor had much to do with riding in the mountains, as I recall, and so I did not have my leg over the saddle. I was struggling a little bit with that leg of mine, trying to get it up and over the big sleeping bag because I like being warm, and just failed. And at the same time, he took off on his horse, and I was riding a short horse, and that's a very bad thing. A mare is probably worse, but a short gelding. Anyways, my friend took off. My horse started into bucking, and I did what we Irish are best known for, and that is I gained altitude. And the gaining of the altitude is not so bad until gravity takes over, and I landed standing up, and my right knee bent out backwards as much as it normally would bend out frontwards. And it took me a little bit of time. I had to walk after my stupid horse that had caught up to him down at the creek, and and I thought about it, and I thought we have a 2 day ride ahead of us. I'm not much for quitting, and my knee was really in bad shape. All that white stuff called a meniscus. Well, it was just severed off, torn to shreds, and anyways, we got on the horse and horses and headed out and crossed the Red Deer River, I think it was, but um, it I think that's what it was, and we crossed and started climbing up through. to the open glades above tree line, and I hurt quite a bit. My knee had gotten remarkably large, and my shaps were very much taut, uh, because the knee had it just was seriously injured. And we rode out on the clearing above the tree line to find ourselves amongst some female sheep, uh, wild sheep, of course, and carried on and just marveled at God's handiwork. And I was quite marveling at the pain I had in my leg. And we came out on a scree laden side hill, and it had a goat trail, uh, animal trail going across it. Um, but the guy ahead, my friend, he got off his horse, and I thought I should do that because it was a slide down several hundred feet, I think. But I probably would have done much better um, to stay on the horse. Anyways, I got off, and he was ahead of me. Some people just um, get on a horse and go for the gold. I'm kind of the one that savors the moment a little bit. Anyways, I got off the horse and I walked across on that goat trail across this great uh, slide of loose rocks, and I knew he had catch my horse at the other side. At least I hoped he would. I know the horse would stop. And anyways, we got on. I finally made my way over there. My goodness, did my knee ever hurt? Eh? It was serious. And we rode the day out, and he kept passing about what looked like about a 2 pound bag of trail mix back to me, and I thought, this is pretty good snack. I wonder what supper's going to be like. And I would take a handful and pass it back to him. Well, I didn't realize that he hadn't brought anything other than that 2 pound bag of trail mix. And that was a snack, but it was also supper. And we rode right to the top of the Dog Rib Creek, and right where it starts, and there was about a 4 foot little waterfall, and we tied the horses up. I don't think we hobbled them, but I think we tied them up. And I went over to the waterfall, and I had neglected to bring anything for pain. And I quite often can remember that because I have suffered a bit at the hand of gravity and horses that would rather me walk than ride, though I'm not that heavy. But anyway, so I I got my saddle off the horse, all that stuff, saddle, my sleeping bag figured out, and I went over where the spring came over a little 4 foot drop of rock right at the head of the uh, Dog Rib Creek, and stripped down, and I froze my knee. And the reason I did that, I wasn't sure if I would be able to get my pants and chaps on again, because my knee was so large, and but I froze the knee until it didn't hurt. Well, it hurt, but not from the meniscus being all destroyed. And went over, lay down on my sleeping bag, and I made a mistake. And I will never make that mistake again. I don't mind uh, um, making mistakes as long as I learn from them. And I had placed my sleeping bag so that my head may well have been 2 inches lower than my feet. What that does is it gives you a whole lot of blood in your head and not much in your feet. And I woke up after a couple of hours in the greatest pain that I've ever had, I think. But I have quite a few levels of pain to choose from. And I realized that my head was hurting and so on. And I turned the sleeping bag around, and after about 20 minutes, I was able to get back to sleep. We spent the next day and a bit. We may only have slept the one night and then headed back to the trailer, but I'm not sure. It's some time ago, and we were going down the dog rib. We were following the dog rib to where it came out on the flats and so on, and um, I had this real need for food, and he just kept passing me that bag of trail mix, and I thought, this is never going to happen again. I eat. I don't eat much, but I need to graze, kind of like a horse, and that sort of thing. And and it was so funny. Anyways, I think it was the second day. He passed me. He said, "I have a treat for you," and I thought, I hope it's food. And it was. It was a can of sardines in mustard sauce. Now, I'd never had them before. I don't think I had them then, but it is amazing. You ride the trail with someone, you get to know them, and my brother was a brother in the Lord, and I mean a good man, and and I counted him a good friend to such an extent that I had him be my best man at second my second marriage, and yeah, it was the second, and and anyways, we got back to the trailer, and we had a good time. I I had to have 3 surgeries on that knee to get it back to where it should be, because every time I would step, you could hear the grinding of bone on bone because the meniscus was kind of missing. That's the white junk in a knee, and and I was thinking today, the number of stories that I've had, privileges really, of of being out in the mountains and out in nature, and even hurt. Uh, a lot of times, um, I have been able to learn how to trust God in real, rugged situations, and that's a good thing. And to ride up to the heights where the dog rib started, out of just a little simple spring, cold. Whoa, you have no idea. And then to follow that dog rib all the way down, and it was a lot of fun. So I learned a couple of things. One, you better plan a little bit better. Like, uh, it would have been smart to have taken a few T3s with me, and and so on, and packed my own food. But nonetheless, it's still a memory. And I sold that horse, the one that I was riding, um, not right away, but a few years later. And I realized that life has some serious surprises along the way. And um, um, not the least of which is a video. If you look it up, it's called Rope in the Wind. And it's what you make out of the things that you go through. Going to whine, complain? Uh, are you going to learn? Um, if you're teachable, it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And well, if you are able to stick with your horse a little better than I generally do, that's kind of wonderful too. So, anyways, short video, maybe trying to see the numbers there. If you find yourself in a situation where you have to contend with adverse situations, then suck it up a little. Like, man up and don't whine and don't complain, but learn uh, a little bit in the process of time. Thank you for watching my stuff. Thank you so much for this privilege and this opportunity to relive a good ride up amongst the sheep and God's creation. And what a joy and what a privilege and what an honor you have given to me by watching my YouTube stuff. And God as well. He is so kind to me. Well, not sure about the title, but usually it'll come to me. And God bless you, eh? God bless you. I sure do hope you have a good day.